Maureen Koech is a multiple award-winning actress, musician, and content producer, having been in several TV series, short and feature films, including but not limited to Changing Times, Lies That Bind, Family Meeting, Deceptive Measures, and Age of Grace. She is also the recipient of the Africa Magic Viewers' Choice Award, which she won in 2013 in the Best Supporting Actress category, as well as Best Actress Award at the Machakos Short Film Festival 2016 for her role as Fiona in Sid. She is also a musician with a number of song titles to her name, as well as a content producer and creative. One of her most recent performances is acting in Age of Grace, a web series where she stars, co-writes, and co-produces, and it's set to premiere and showcase soon.
Jipe shughuli nani wera baby zidi kufanya bidii atakani mare obonga betu kiaiba isitamu sigo berura chobanya kama watoto jowale 2020 wako ki BNM energy wameshanishawishi hakuna kitu wezi bi ambia kinaoti.
So who is Maureen Koech?
I'm an artist. I'm an actress, I'm a musician, and I am a content producer. I like to creatively say that I am a hearty human with epiphanical expressions and musical expressions, basically, yeah. And I'm an all-round artistic person.
All right, so what are you currently engaged in terms of your career right now?
So right now, I actually recently just launched my first cover song, because I've been working on a series of cover music. I started, singing some years back, but I took some kind of sort of break on the music. So I about a year or so, I got back on it, and we started recording some work with my producer. And just recently, I literally just launched my first piece of, or rather our first piece of work. So we'll continue with that as time goes by. So yes, there's the music, there's the production side of things that I'm still working on. We have a series called Age of Grace that we haven't, we're still working on. We shot a number of months back. That's mainly what I'm working on.
Okay, that's good to hear. How would you describe your interest in performing right now? Is it something that you had from the very beginning, or did it just come to you later on? Yeah.
Definitely something I know I was born to do, which is, well, in some elements, in some ways, I feel it had to come. It didn't just come automatically. I had to sort of self-discover myself. In high school, I remember I wasn't particularly passionate about the music. I loved the arts. I joined high school. In high school, I joined a drama club. It was there that I basically found myself or discovered the talent that I had in performance as an actor. So yes, that developed, and after I joined campus in Strathmore, I joined the drama club there called DrumSoc, the Strathmore Drama Society, and we used to actually host or rather perform professional plays at the Alliance Française. And I would say that's where I got my mentorship into professional performance. With the music, it came after high school. I progressively just really got interested in the dynamics of music.
And you're talking about your acting side and your musical side. Are there certain themes or certain productions that you get involved in, and others you say, no, I don't want to get involved in that? Do you have a recurrent theme that you have in your productions?
These ideas and themes you find are more comfortable, or not even necessarily comfortable, but you find more engaging. You tend to connect to a specific ideas more than others.
Yeah.
So that tends to sort of also influence the kinds of jobs that you take, or the topics and the thematic areas that you address in your performances or in your productions. So yes, that it definitely has an influence in one way or the other.
Okay. Now you've won Best Actress and you've won Best Supporting Actress awards. Tell us more about that. How did you get selected for this, and which productions were this?
The first award I won, that was in 2013 in Lagos, Nigeria. I won the Best Supporting Actress award, AM Africa Magic Viewers Choice Awards, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actress category. That was for a show called Lies That Bind. So that was biggest highlight of my career in terms of the appreciation and the recognition that comes with what I do. So it's not, it does not define me, but it's a stamp of approval that really helps you go to the next level. 2016 got recognized at the Machakos Short Film Festival. It's usually an annual festival for local filmmakers. And there's a film I was a short film I was on called Seed by an excellent filmmaker called Volino Gutrin. She's also a writer, so she wrote and directed the film, and she won first place. I remember we took home a lot of awards. Best writer, best actress for me. I think also best overall film it won the best. And then I can't remember the other award, but it did very well at the festival.
All right. So there are perceptions by many individuals about a career in TV and film. And a lot of people say that it's quite underpaying, and so you've got to do something else apart from just a particular career. What's your view about that?
In the life we're living today, or in the business environment that we're in, you literally have to, most of the time you'd have to have an entrepreneurial mind. If you want to go to the next level, you really have to package yourself in such a way that you have a working business model that will enable you to monetize in a way that will help to sustain your craft. So you can't think in terms of, okay, what's up? I want to get into acting, try and get as many jobs as I possibly can and be successful at this. It's possible, but it's not easy. If you think in a sort of one-dimensional way, you might not be able to sustain yourself. So it is possible to sustain yourself with doing this, being an actor, but you also have to build a brand. Make sure that you package it in such a way that will enable you just to be sustainable. So have a business model, because art or acting or performance is a business. It's not side hustle. You should never look at it as a side hustle. It's your business. Yes. So it has to be sustainable for you. It has to generate some sort of income, both short-term and long-term income. So you have to build it as a business. So if you think about it as a business, or if you grow it as a business, you will definitely succeed at it.
So what are you doing right now that is creating that personal brand for yourself as Maureen?
Yes, I have a company. I'm running a company called Relic House Limited. It's a content production company. Under our first project is a show called Age of Grace, which we shot some time back. That's the one I just told you. We're still working on post-production. So in light of that, we hope or intend to be a production or a content production hub within not just the country or locally, but also regionally and internationally. Tell Africa's stories, tell Kenyan stories, and put them out there. Tell our stories. People come a lot to Africa, and they tell this really twisted ideas just to make them look good. A lot of the Western stories that we see outside are war stories, sicknesses, and floodings or famine stories about Africa. So we feel there's a need for us to tell our own stories ourselves. And at the end of the day, we still have to ensure that it's sustainable. We employ a business model that works.
Okay, so just interested in people who write. Just to debate here. Do you write the stories yourself, or can someone bring your script and sort of you have a look at it, or how do you run it?
We encourage, we like to plug in talents and creatives and professionals within the different facets of production. So yes, absolutely. We get talented writers. If you read your script and we find that it's a story that we would love to produce or develop, then we'll definitely take it up and have a professional relationship or working relationship with that particular talent.
Okay. I was very privileged to see you acting on the film Family Meeting. That was really good.
Thank you.
This stooge who looked like a wife was not really a wife. Tell us about the differences between acting in a film like that and acting on TV. Yes.
Right. Well, I wouldn't say there's necessarily a difference between acting on TV or acting in a film. The dynamics present themselves when it comes to the characters that you take on, or the character that you take on. So because acting is acting, whether it's for film or TV, you know, it's the dynamics in terms of technical dynamics or performance dynamics are more or less the same.
Okay.
But the characters are different. So for instance, on Family Meeting, I had supporting I would say my character was, well, let me not say a supporting, it was a main role, but it was not a heavy main role.
Okay.
As opposed to, say, a different character in a show I did called Age of Grace. I would say about at least 40% of all the lines on the script were me, were mine, or 30%, which is it's a whole lot of work. Taking into account the process of building the character.
Okay.
It's very different when you look at both of them, because for Family Meeting it wasn't a lot to do. Although emotionally I had to tap into the character a bit more. So yeah, different dynamics when it comes to the different characters. Absolutely.
How would you what advice would you give to young people who might be interested in getting into the performance art studies? And also moving on into a career in performing arts?
The first thing I would say is create time for whatever it is you want to do, whatever area of performance or production you want to get into. You have to have the right sort of mind frame getting into it, because this is not just something you're going to do for fun. This is going to be your career. You have to practice. You have to get in touch with people who will direct you to the right place, or to the right course that you would want to do. So finding mentors is very important, and finding mentorship. One thing I would say also, life skills, like how to use money, basically budgeting, do your research. You have to allow yourself to be in the mental space even before you start, even before you begin. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. And with the current COVID-19 crisis right now, where we have issues like that, how is the performing arts industry right now? Because I know there is issues of social distancing and getting on set together. What do you see is the future of acting in this country?
At the end of the day, we have to stay alive. First and foremost. So we have to sort of get back to the drawing board. We have to take advantage of the structures that we have in place that will allow us to work in a manner that will be safe for people. So whether it's coming up with, of course, there's things that have already been set up, or structures that have already been set up by the government, like thermal checking temperatures, sanitizing, and all these perhaps eventually we're going to have to set up anything that will enable a cleaner and a safer antiviral or antibacterial environment for our audiences and for all the stakeholders involved in say production, or even if we're talking about the audience alone. We're gonna have to put that in place. But the government has already supported the artists. There's a financial bailout already, the stimulus package that has really assisted artists out there. So I know there is definitely hope for the future. So just basically come into this with an open mind. We're definitely going to have to shift to the digital space a bit more than how we were doing it before. And maybe the whole physical interaction thing, we're going to have to sort of take it down a bit before we get back up to where we were. So the digital space will be a big thing coming going forward rather.
I'm actually seeing a lot of digital kind of interventions, and I'm thinking about now the future of the youth and who are training right now. So maybe that's one area they need to really concentrate on. So what areas would you see the youth sort of shaping performing arts into something different from what is happening right now in the country? How can the youth contribute to make it even more better? Because I look at countries like Nigeria, which are also in Africa, and you can see the industry is quite big. What do Kenyans need to do to sort of propel this industry to that kind of level?
I feel we have to construct the value chain from pre-production to production to post-production, and especially distribution. I think that's actually our main issue, is we have not really mastered how to sell our content, how to really make it sustainable and grow it to levels that allow profit making, that allow investment from both public and private sector, for us to get to the next level. So I feel I feel we need students, or we need young people to come up with innovative ways to sell and to distribute. One of the ways that we are thinking of propping up our value chain in terms of how we're doing film business is we're coming up with an online platform to sell our content directly to the consumers without having to rely on mainstream media, because mainstream media already is struggling, as it is. So we cannot just sit and wait and say, there's no more slots on TV, we can't sell our content on TV, so what next? And yes, there's the option of putting it online. The problem is it's not sustainable in the long run or in the long term. So we have to innovate and find ways to make content available to our audiences at good rates, and still make our work sustainable. We need to own our own narrative. We need to own our own businesses and take charge of the business ecosystem, or the ecosystem in Africa. Let's not allow multinationals to come and take over and be the ones to solve our problems, because at the end of the day, they're going to have to look out for themselves first.
Just before we close, just a quick question. I am a young person interested in acting or performance. Where do I start? I'm out there in the cities of Nairobi. I'm out there in Eldoret. I'm there in Mombasa. I really have a passion for acting. Where do I start?
That's a very, very good question, and thank you for asking. So what I tell these upcoming amazing talents is this: use what you have where you are. What you have where you are. You don't need to buy an expensive camera for you to record yourself and put your content online. YouTube is free. You don't have to subscribe for you to upload content. It's free. Instagram is free, Facebook is free.
Yeah.
You know, all you have to do is invest in a smartphone, and most of the time these are people who already have, you know, for them to actually message me on, say, Facebook, they already have a smartphone.
Yes.
So pick a topic, pick a theme that you feel is you're comfortable with, and, you know, create ideas and skits and whatever it is. If it's music, you know, there's literally apps to record, to produce music on your phone, literally from beginning to the end, and you have a complete song, you know, and post that on social media. There's so many artists who started like that, and they're very successful right now. So things are easier now. It's not like in my time, like say 5 years ago, I would have to wait for an audition to be announced. Then I'd have to go for the audition, get the role, and then, you know, have my performance recorded. And, you know, it was a tedious process, but I had to go through it. And here I am now. But, you know, there's also the element of patience. I mean, it's not going to be easy. There's pros and cons of both ways, or how things worked now and then. So you have to respect the process. It's just because you upload something today doesn't mean it's going to be viral tomorrow. So you have to continue. So it brings me back to the reason, why are you doing it? Are you doing it because for popularity? Are you doing it because you're passionate, because you actually see yourself or see your future in that particular area of performance of your life? So yes, so I would say you have everything you need. You have it around you. You don't need to go so far for you to accomplish or be or become.
Okay. Yeah. So, you know, in your different counties, as young people, just get a group together of people who are like-minded like you, have a production, do something together. And there are a lot of forums now. You talked about popularity as opposed to talent. And we've got things like TikTok and so on, where we can see a lot of people performing this and that. And it's all different for different people. You can see some are really performing and they're very good at that talent, while others are just there to entertain. You know, everyone has a forum, and a lot of people are making money out of this social media platforms, and so it's a really good place to go. So instead, as you said, of waiting for an audition or something like that, maybe you also get yourself known. Because if I'm going to look for an actor, actress, I'm going to look at these forums to actually get to see you, and then I'll invite you and say, you're the kind of person that I want. So I think they put themselves out there. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So are there internship and funding opportunities available for people in performing arts?
Internship, internship. I know there's different production sets that have opportunities for talents who would like to practice in any particular area of performance or production. Regardless, I would still echo what I just said, that opportunities on the mainstream or in the mainstream are becoming more and more limited. It's just the business, the things, the changing tides of business, of production or film production or content production. So it might not be as much as we hope for everyone. So at the end of the day, I still feel there's opportunities presented by online streaming platforms, or rather social media. YouTube is your friend. Yes, and then funding. I know for sure the Kenya Film Commission is very supportive of artists, especially during this time. In a way or the other, if you find a way to get to them or to reach out to them, you'll be able to find funding for your projects. Film Classification Board as well are also very supportive of artists. The Youth Fund, I know for sure they loan money to people, to creatives as well. I would still say, to anyone who needs or is looking for such opportunities, do your research and know where you can go first. But I know for sure there's definitely opportunities for funding out there. Also, save as much as you possibly can, because I know, it's tempting to take up a loan and do a film, or do some kind of project. But if you're able to actually save your way to your capital, the capital allocation, or the needs, the capital need that you have, that's actually the best way. So save and save and save and save. Get that money that you need, invest it in whatever whatever you want, and actually create a sustainable model that will enable you to make profits and to have something to not just use as your profits, or but you also reinvest into the business. Okay,
so what are the challenges that you face, especially maybe acting on film or TV, or even in production of the same?
I feel mainly is, how do I convince the audience or a customer or a consumer to actually consume my content? I feel it's a challenge to actually basically know our way around exactly convincing our audience to consume our content, not just consume but also buy, because buying is important. It's what will sustain the business. That's what I would say is the biggest challenge for us right now.
Okay, so what are your last words? And I know you can relate that to your mantra where you want to stand out above others. What are your last words to young people watching you and would like to get into this industry?
I would say I live by the mantra, one is never say never, which means everything is possible. And the other one pertains to my performances, or rather my work, my professional work, which is every single project has to be better than last. Whether it's your time, you have to invest this in a way, it's as if you've been given the last day to live. What would you do during that last day? You would put your all into that one day so that you can live your life to the most or to the fullest. So it's the same thing with your career. Then you have to invest everything that you have. You can't listen too much to what people will say. I know, for instance, there's these parents who are still struggling with the idea of their children being in this, doing or pursuing the arts. My own parents were a bit, I had to nudge them a bit just to tell them that, this is something that I like, this is something that is actually sustainable or will be sustainable. So talk to your parents, do everything in your power, basically. To ensure that you set the pace for yourself. In practicing as a performer, or being in film business. So basically invest yourself, invest everything that you have. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you so much, Maureen, for talking to us. That was really insightful into the world of performance, and I'm sure very many youths are going to benefit from this particular talk and get to know what the industry is all about and what they need to do to be able to thrive in this particular field. So thank you so much for coming to talk to us on My Career Mentor with Sue. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
All right.
Lunch
at our home.
You?
I'm good. Up there.
After they expelled me from the boat.
I have some. Do you ever go back?
University could admit me back. You know how it was in those days.
Silly politics.
Politics.
Just because we're against corruption.
Tell me about it.
Is that where you met Macbeth? Brings forth a policeman. It's good to see you too. I shouldn't be. John. You're my brother's fiancé.
I wonder why we're taking so long.